Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we uncover some really cool knowledge. And today we're going all in on the Riverfield Studies Network.
RFSN for short.
Yeah, RFSN. And they're doing some seriously groundbreaking work in river education.
Absolutely. I mean, they just launched 8 brand new open source lessons, and that brings their library up to 18.
Wow.
And they've trained over 20 river scholars.
Talk about an impact.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so let's meet a few of these 2023 river scholars. Just looking at their bios here, the diversity of expertise is incredible.
It really highlights how interdisciplinary river studies are. You need to look at it from all angles: ecology, hydrology, geography, even anthropology.
Yeah, exactly like Dr. Adriana Martinez.
Yeah.
She's a fluvial geomorphologist.
Basically a river landform expert.
Right, and she's studying how the U.S.-Mexico border fence is impacting flooding along the Rio Grande.
Yeah, it's a great example of how human infrastructure can have these, unintended consequences,
Wow.
like altering a river's flow and increasing flood risk.
Really emphasizes that we can't just look at a river in isolation.
Yeah, it's all connected. And then there's Flora Brain,
Oh, yeah.
the director of the Matul Field Institute, and she brings this idea of embodied perceptions to the study of rivers.
I was so interested by that when I read it. It's like the idea that our senses and emotions actually shape how we understand rivers.
Yeah, it challenges us to go beyond just the data and the textbooks and engage with rivers on like a personal sensory level.
I love that. And then there's Lauren Diaz, a
Yes.
PhD student studying steelhead trout, and she is so passionate about making field education accessible to students from marginalized backgrounds.
Absolutely. That's critical for the future of river science. We need diverse voices and perspectives to
Yeah.
fully understand these complex systems and to come up with effective solutions to protect them.
Okay, so we've met just a few of the awesome people behind RFSN, but let's dive into the heart of it all.
These 8 new lessons.
Yes, I am geeking out just looking at the titles.
Me too.
Okay, so first up is Geography and Embodied Perceptions, a pathway to reanimating rivers through lived experiences.
By Flora Brain and Christiana Saldana.
Yes, remember how we were just talking about Flora's work on how our senses influence our understanding of rivers?
Right.
Well, this lesson takes you on a journey to explore that concept.
Yeah, you'll connect with rivers on a deeper level beyond just scientific observation. You'll really tap into those personal experiences and how they shape our perception of these natural wonders.
That's so cool. Okay, next we have Microhabitats and macroinvertebrates. Logjam influences on stream morphology and macroinvertebrate traits.
By Carolyn Cummins and Adriana E. Martinez.
That's right. This one dives into the world of macroinvertebrates.
Those tiny critters.
Yes, and how logjams actually impact their habitats and the shape of the riverbed.
It's fascinating how these seemingly small things are so interconnected.
Yeah.
How logjams create these microhabitats that are so important for a river's biodiversity.
Like a whole miniature ecosystem within the larger river system.
That's so cool.
Now let's explore the historical and cultural side of rivers.
Time Immemorial, Water Governance Approaches and Indigenous Rights.
Yes, by Bray, Andre Sanchez, and Matthew C. Ogwu.
It takes us beyond just the science and makes us think about the long and complex relationship between humans and rivers, especially the importance of understanding Indigenous perspectives and their water rights.
So it's about recognizing that historical and cultural significance of rivers and how we can incorporate that into how we manage and conserve them.
Exactly.
Okay, get ready to get creative because next is a STEAM approach to understanding water systems by Caitlin J. Mattos and Elizabeth Preza.
This one's so cool.
It uses art and photography to explore the complexities of water systems.
I love how art can make those complex scientific concepts more engaging and accessible.
Yeah, you can see and connect with water systems in a whole new way.
It really brings that human touch to the science.
Okay, are you ready to get your hands dirty?
Always.
All right, because What Shapes a River? Field Lesson
Yeah.
by Andrew Stubblefield takes you on a hands-on exploration of the forces that shape rivers.
So you're going out into the field,
Yes.
observing those geological and hydrological processes firsthand and understanding how they create those riverscapes we see.
It's like you're a river detective. Okay. And speaking of getting up close and personal with river life, we have Understanding Fish Habitat Selection using snorkel surveys.
Love It by Carolyn Teal and Lauren Diaz.
Yes. This one takes you underwater to explore fish behavior.
You're diving right in, observing how fish choose their habitats and learning what influences those decisions and how scientists study these amazing creatures.
Science and adventure all in one point. All right, let's get into the practical side of river science with Lesson Plan, Measuring Stream Flow by Nicholas Segra.
Yeah, this one focuses on measuring how much water is flowing in a river.
It's a key skill,
Absolutely, for understanding water resources, predicting floods, and figuring out the health of a river.
like taking a river's pulse. And finally, we have using aquatic macroinvertebrates in stream bioassessment by Ross van der Voors and Carissa Gannon.
Back to those fascinating macroinvertebrates.
No, right? And how they can tell us so much about a river's health.
Yeah, it introduces this concept of bioassessment using certain species as indicators of water quality. It's like a river's report card.
So powerful for seeing the impact of human activities on rivers and making sure they stay healthy in the long run.
And there you have it, 8 amazing new open source lessons from RFSN, each one packed with knowledge and ready to inspire you.
But wait, there's more. We'll be right back after a short break from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. The deep dive continues. Welcome back to the deep dive. We just scratched the surface of these 8 new lessons from the Riverfield Studies Network. And I don't know about you, but I am excited.
Yeah, what's really cool is how they go beyond the traditional classroom, you know? Like
Yeah.
they really emphasize those hands-on field experiences.
You're not just reading about rivers, you're out there getting your hands dirty.
Exactly, and making those real-world connections, like in the geography and embodied perceptions lesson, you're encouraged to use your senses to connect with a river. Like, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, what memories does it bring up? But how does it fit into the landscape?
Right, it's recognizing that our understanding of a river goes beyond the scientific data. You
Yeah.
know, it's influenced by our emotions, our experiences, our culture.
It's a holistic approach.
It is recognizing that deep connection between humans and rivers.
And it's not just about feeling, it's about careful observation and analysis.
Oh, absolutely. Like in the microhabitats and macroinvertebrates lesson,
Right.
you're learning how to identify those different river habitats, how to collect and analyze data on those
The
macroinvertebrates.
fascinating little creatures that are so sensitive to changes.
Exactly.
You're like a citizen scientist.
You are contributing to our understanding of river ecology.
And then in Time Immemorial, you're tackling those really complex issues like water governance and indigenous rights.
Yeah, exploring those historical and cultural dimensions of rivers.
It's about recognizing that rivers aren't just natural resources. They have this huge cultural and spiritual significance, especially for indigenous communities who have such a deep relationship with them.
These lessons aren't shying away from tough topics.
No, they're not.
They make us think critically about how we manage and protect our rivers, and I also appreciate how accessible these lessons are.
Yes, you don't need to be a scientist or have a bunch of fancy equipment.
Nope. Many of them can be adapted for different age groups and settings. You could use them in a classroom, an after-school program, even at home with your family.
Yeah, like the A STEAM Approach to Understanding Water Systems lesson uses art and photography
Right.
to explore water systems, such a cool way to engage people of all ages and backgrounds.
Breaks down those barriers between science and art, showing how they can work together.
I love that. And understanding fish habitat selection using snorkel surveys.
Yeah.
That one's going to get people excited.
Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't want to spend a day snorkeling in a river watching fish in their natural habitat?
Right, learning about their behavior.
It's the perfect blend of science and adventure.
And for anyone who wants to get into the more technical stuff, the Measuring Stream Flow lesson is a great intro to hydrology.
You learn how to measure the amount of water flowing in a river, so important
It is.
for understanding water resources and river dynamics.
And finally, the Using Aquatic Macroinvertebrates in Stream Bioassessment lesson takes us into the world of biomonitoring.
Yeah, you learn how to use macroinvertebrates to tell us about the health of a river, like an ecological detective.
I love it. So these 8 new lessons, plus the existing ones in the RFSN library.
An amazing resource.
It really is for anyone who wants to learn about rivers.
Shows the power of collaboration, open source education, and a passion for sharing knowledge.
The Riverfield Studies Network is making a real difference.
They are creating a ripple effect of knowledge and stewardship that's spreading everywhere.
It's inspiring to see how they're empowering people to connect with their local rivers and become advocates for their protection.
They're showing us that we can all be part of the solution.
No matter your background or expertise, it's about fostering that sense of wonder, curiosity, and responsibility towards our rivers.
And that's something worth exploring.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I encourage you to check out these lessons for yourself.
You'll be amazed at what you find.
And who knows, maybe you'll even be inspired to create your own lesson and contribute to this growing wave of river knowledge and stewardship.
Because when we share our knowledge and passion for rivers, we can create a force for positive change.
That's what the deep dive is all about. So stay tuned for the final part of our exploration, where we'll reflect on the bigger impact of RFSN's work and what it means for the future of our rivers. Welcome back to the deep dive as we wrap up our exploration of the Riverfield Studies Network and their amazing work in river education. I can't help but feel hopeful.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see how they're pushing the boundaries of how we learn about and connect with rivers.
They've taken this concept of a deep dive and made it a real educational experience. You're not just skimming the surface, you're really immersing yourself in the complexities of these ecosystems.
Right, and that's crucial because to understand and protect rivers, we need to look at them from so many angles using different tools and perspectives, like these lessons show us.
It's like they're giving us pieces of a puzzle. Each lesson is a different perspective, and as we explore them, we start to see the bigger picture, how everything is connected in a river system.
And that understanding is so important for making good decisions about managing, conserving, and restoring rivers.
We can't protect what we don't understand.
Exactly. And that's where the impact of RFSN really lies. They're not just educating people, they're empowering people to become stewards of their rivers and watersheds.
I love that. Imagine a world where everyone gets how important rivers are, the threats they face, and what we could do to protect them.
That's the world RFSN is helping to create.
A world where people have the knowledge, the skills, and the passion to make a real difference.
And it starts with education, opening up access to these resources and, fostering that sense of wonder and curiosity about nature.
So as we finish our deep dive into the Riverfield Studies Network, I want to leave you with this thought. How can you apply what you've learned from these lessons to your own life?
Right.
Whether it's volunteering with a local conservation group cleaning up a river, or just spending more time observing and appreciating the rivers near you, every action, even small ones, can contribute to a healthier future for these ecosystems.
The future of our rivers really depends on us.
So go explore, learn, take action, and keep diving deep into the wonders of our natural world. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
It's been a pleasure.